everyone, welcome to Catholic Girl Talk. Today I have Sarah with me, and she is my amazing youth minister, and she has a degree in
theology from Ave Maria University.
Awesome.
So our topic today is going to be about beauty and femininity and the spirit of modesty that flows from an understanding of our own worth and our dignity.
Yeah, so we're going to start with a quote from the Catechism, and I'll link them below. So, purity requires modesty, an integral part of temperance. Modesty protects the intimate center of the person. It means refusing to unveil what should remain hidden. It is ordered to chastity, to whose sensitivity it bears witness. It guides how one looks at others and behaves towards them in conformity with the dignity of persons and their solidarity. Here's another quote from the Catechism. Modesty protects the mystery of persons and their love. It encourages patience and moderation in loving relationships. It requires that the conditions for the definitive giving and commitment of man and woman to one another be fulfilled. Modesty is decency. It inspires one's choice of clothing.
There's so much there. I think there's so much there to unpack. There's a lot there that I love, especially talking about modesty really being flowing into and from temperance and chastity, and the language of refusing to unveil what should remain hidden, and this language of mystery. At least in my own journey, in my own heart as a woman, these are things that have really informed my own choices of what modesty looks like, what fashion looks like as a woman who's trying to live a Catholic life. And this idea of, I think veiling is something that I really love. That veiling in the church, especially in the Catholic Church, when we veil something, it's not because we're ashamed of it, but it's an invitation, right? When we veil something, we veil the chalice, we veil the tabernacle, and these aren't so that they are hidden, right? It's so that there's depth, right? There's this invitation into something deeper, invitation into something more. C.S. Lewis uses this image of further up and further in, and so there's this running deeper into Narnia, and the truth is sort of unfolding. There's this unveiling of truth, and it's this idea of going further up and further in. And I think a lot of what can be said about that nature of veiling has a lot to say about our feminine nature.
So it reminds me of something a priest once told me, which was we cover what we want to reveal. So we're veiling ourselves because we want to reveal that we are a woman, that we have worth and dignity and beauty. And it all sort of goes back to the garden. Adam and Eve sinned and they felt shame, and then God covered them, right? So they felt shame because their relationship with God had been, and with each other had been disrupted, right? There was like a break in that.
Yeah. So before sin enters into the world, they can see the totality of one another, right? Perverted sort of vision hadn't entered into them before, where once they saw totality, they now see brokenness, right? Where once there was the whole of a woman or a man suddenly can be reduced to the sum of their parts, or, the soul or the spirit can suddenly be divorced from the body. And this idea of veiling what you want to uncover, right? We all desire to be known and to be loved for who we are intimately, right? But we cover ourselves and those sort of intimate parts of our hearts so that we can reveal them in a timely manner, right? We can reveal and to the proper people, right? It's always sort of an invitation into, I'm not just the sum of my parts, right? There's a depth to me. There's a reality that may not be easily perceivable, but hopefully I'm helping you along, right? Hopefully the way that I dress, even our attitude is, right? Surrounding our composure and our dress. This idea that modesty isn't just hems, right? It's not hemlines. It's an interior disposition, right? This disposition should be an invitation into a whole person.
What I also love about this quote is that it says, modesty inspires one's choice of clothing. And that is so profound because it really shows that modesty is not about the hemline. It's really not. It's about an interior disposition of the heart, a true understanding of who we are and the gift that we can be to the world.
I know as a woman who desires to be known and to be loved for who I am, if I wore slightly less fabric in very intentional places, I could get all sorts of attention, right? But that attention isn't, it's not satisfying because it's not an acknowledgement of the totality of my person, right? It's not an acknowledgement of my dignity and ultimately who my dignity flows from. Circling back to veiling, when we talk about things being veiled, things being intentionally revealed in particular ways, we talk about it being an invitation, right? So the way that I dress, more than it being, you know, not 4 inches above the knee or 4 inches under the clavicle, that's not an invitation, right? When we start nickel and diming, it's important to have rules and guidelines for yourself that are followable and you can be held accountable to, but ultimately modesty is about revealing truth, right? If goodness, truth, and beauty are transcendentals in the church, right? That's what we call those 3 things: goodness, truth, and beauty. Beauty is what is attractive, right? Goodness, truth, and beauty exist in everything as either lacking or sort of being full of goodness or truth or beauty. And we as women in our femininity are particularly beautiful in ways that other created things are not, right? We have a particular beauty to share with the world, but that also means that we have a responsibility to guard that well, to reveal that well, because at our best, when women are who we were created to be, right? Saint Teresa Benedicta of the Cross says, the world doesn't need what women are, it needs who women are. So when we are what we were created to be, we are revealing beauty and we are inviting people deeper into a beauty that hopefully doesn't stop with me, right? Achieving my vocation of modesty, hopefully my dress and my the way that I'm comporting myself is leading to a truth that is beyond my own self, right? It's leading to something deeper. Hopefully it's leading people to Christ. Oh no! What we feared has come true. Time today is Sarah's lip gloss being in places other than her lips. Is it happening? It's happening now. Okay. An invitation for other people to see and acknowledge that.
Let me turn it on.
Do it.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, so I think there is, nope, that's not how I'm going to start. I think there is,
That's the way I talk. Yeah.
Are we starting?
Yes.
Is it happening? It's happening now. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's talk about veils, y'all.
Okay.
Video land, I don't know if you've noticed, Catholic youth ministers always have 2 coffees
And they
at
only
any given
give
time.
their youth people wine.
A beautiful part about femininity and friendship is
that coffee goes in the mix.
that's right. We co-caffeinate each other because we love. We have to caffeinate because we love one another.